September 11, 2001, the second time in history when an attack occurred on United States soil. The first attack occurred when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, marking the beginning of World War II, a day that will live in infamy. September 11, 2001 marked another day in the United States of America, another day that will live in infamy. It is considered to be the seminal event of the current American generation, known as 9/11, an attack on the World Trade Center in Manhattan Bureau of New York City. This was a day that will never be forgotten. The 9/11 attacks were preceded by the less-known Bojinka plot, which was planned in the Philippines by Ramzi Youssef, the planner of the 1993 explosion in the main garage of the World Trade Center, and Khalid Muhammad. The Bojinka objective was to blow up 12 airliners carrying more than 4,000 passengers as they flew from Asia to the United States. This plot was halted when a laptop was found in an apartment in the Philippines. In January 1999, 2 years before the 9/11 attacks, bin Laden calls Muhammad to Afghanistan to discuss using planes as weapons. They develop a list of targets including the White House, Pentagon, Capitol Building, and World Trade Center. Bin Laden names 4 suicide operatives to lead the 9/11 attacks with the intent to hijack 4 airplanes all owned by United States airline companies. In January 2000, the hijackers begin their trek to the United States and enter the U.S. to begin training in flight school. The hijackers were Al-Shahi, Hurrah, Atta, and Hanjour, who was in the country on a student visa. All were trained as pilots in jet simulators and took various trips around the states for surveillance and to see if they were able to take weapons aboard the flights. On August 26, 2001, the conspirators began purchasing flight tickets. Several days later, Atta, the leader of the mission, travels to various cities meeting with the hijack teams. And on September 11, 2001, the World Trade Center is attacked. The hijackers in the attacks were 19 men affiliated with Al-Qaeda, and 15 of whom were citizens of Saudi Arabia. The other 4 were from Egypt and the United Emirates. The hijackers were organized into 4 teams, each led by a pilot-trained hijacker and 4 muscle hijackers who were trained to help subdue the pilots, passengers, and crew. Atta is believed to be been the pilot of American Airlines Flight 11, which crashed into Tower 1. Al-Shahi is believed to be the pilot of United Airlines Flight 175, crashing into Tower 2. Hurrah is believed to have been the pilot of United Airlines Flight 93, crashing into a field in Pennsylvania. The Pentagon is hit by American Airlines Flight 77. Hanjour is believed to have been the pilot in the flight, only to have no reported threats of bombs or stabbings. All the other 3 flights, the hijackers are recorded by the air traffic controller telling the passengers, "Stay seated, there is a bomb on board, we are returning to the airport. No cause for alarm." Immediately following the attacks, all flights, both inbound and outbound, were stopped immediately for several days. Fear of further attack were unknown and expected. For the first time since World War II, the United States airspace was closed. Gradually, airplanes were allowed to fly again under close scrutiny by the United States military. Air travel dropped dramatically. American businesses and citizens stopped traveling by air, frightened to fly with fear of being another passenger on a one-way flight of terror. The U.S. economy was severely impacted following 9/11. More than 500,000 travel-related industry workers lost their jobs. Public businesses in places such as malls and movie theaters also saw decreases in attendance because they represent potential targets for terrorist attacks. The World Trade Center in Manhattan, scarred by in 1993 and then annihilated in 2001, remains in transition. The 9/11 Memorial opened September 2011, 10 years after the attacks. The names of those taken that day are etched forever in the concrete at Ground Zero. 11 years later, one new trade center rises northwest of where the Twin Towers once stood. The nation was shaken by the loss that day. Some 3,000 killed at Ground Zero, the Pentagon, a field in Pennsylvania, and airplanes turned into missiles. That loss continues. And that loss is remembered both in the hearts of Americans and their families in a building rising at a height of 1,776 feet, 1776, the year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, known as One World Trade Center.